And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I do all the time with my buddy here, Chris Edwards.
Good morning. How are you? We're here. It's Wednesday, and same shit, different day. Same shit, different day, right?
It's a new day. It's a new day. And man, I tell you, Chris and I were just watching Don Lemon's show, and
he's still playing.
and looking at they're doing the whole thing on ice, and all of this is, we'll talk about it, but it's just absolutely, it's just evil. It's just
outrageous.
Absolutely evil.
And the thing,
and as you were saying, Chris, you could say, I mean, you in your neighborhood, your old neighborhood.
Well, yeah, so where my parents live on Long Island, like, because I am now signed up with the whole ICE, getting the notification. My cousin put me onto that. Literally around the corner from where I grew up, in front of the church that I went to, there were ICE agents out there arresting people.
Yeah,
because we have a large Hispanic population. We have a large what's the word?
Immigrants, right?
Immigrant population in our neighborhood.
In Long Island. Long Island has a lot. I mean, there's some towns that are almost still white only.
It's very rare.
But it's
even in the quote unquote money areas, it's so diverse.
Yes. It's so
I told my mom, I was like, just be careful. I mean, even like going to the supermarket, I mean, like little things, you have to tell your elderly parent to be careful when you go to the supermarket. I mean, it's ridiculous. Who walks with papers to prove that you're an American citizen? If you don't look white and male, they're going to stop you.
Yeah. This is where we are. But the gentleman, the lawyer that's on Don Lemon's show earlier, he's still there on this show, and shared how the United Nations is investigating America. Can you? I mean, could we just wrap our heads around this?
In our lifetime,
that the United Nations is put out an investigation on America for its cruelty and breaking of rules, the human rights rules. I mean, this is where we are. And it is so disturbing on so many levels.
Disturbing is not even the word. This is unconscionable. Like, I never would have thought in our lifetime that this would be happening. I mean, not to say it couldn't, but, I don't know. Good morning, Gwendolyn.
Hello. Good morning.
How are you doing today? How are you doing down the southern part of our wonderful country?
I'm going to say, and I know this is going to be like one of those, where is she getting that from? I'm actually I'm in a fairly good spot. I've been chatting with people all week about being an ear, because there is a lot happening every single day.
Every day.
If I was at the store and I had purchased this version of 2026, I'd be making a return right now. But
I have a receipt.
I'm just saying, it's like, I want a full refund. This test drive, I don't want to buy this model.
I don't want to exchange. I want my money back.
But I was looking at a video I did last year when I talked about joy and how joy is an act of resistance. Yes. I get it that in moments like this, where it feels as if, you are literally witnessing the most atrocious and heinous acts being created.
Sound like something a series episode of Law and Order about to start.
Yeah.
You know my cousin Vinny, then you understand the whole deal. But you can feel as if you have no right to be joyful for a moment, for a day, for a week. You can feel that because there's so much happening. You're like, how can I have any kind of joy where I just saw a video of a woman being pulled out of a car, right? Like, how do I do that?
Crashed the glass.
Yes, broke her glass, everything. But joy is an act of resistance. The idea is to beat you visually, emotionally, and mentally into fear and behaving a particular way. And the one thing you can do is say, I recognize this. I recognize the inhumane acts. What I will not do is allow you to let me lose all the parts of humanity. I'm going to recognize this. I'm going to act on it with however I can act on it, but I will still walk in joy. You're not taking that from me.
That's right.
So we get like Black folks get out and line dance. We do what we do. And people are like, how can you do that? Because that's defiance.
That's right.
That's defiance.
Yeah.
I love it.
I agree with you.
I agree with you 100%. And like I mentioned, when I was talking to one of the photographers from this weekend, and she was saying, Ron, I'm protecting my peace. I'm just protecting my peace. I'm doing what I love to do. I'm keeping my mind. She goes, I stay informed because she's also like me, a news junkie. But she says, I keep my peace. I know when to cut the TV off. I know when to walk away from the website. I am keeping my peace. And I said, oh, you sound so. I said, your voice sounds so familiar to another person I know.
But no, I think Gwendolyn has got it right, and I think we all kind of do that.
Yeah, we do. You got to keep.
We come on here to inform and to talk about the topics that are current because it's kind of like that what we do on this space. But like so here's one thing that we do every Tuesday. Ronald and I, it's Taco Tuesday, so we go to our local Mexican gastropub. And, we know the people and we know the bartender. He knows us. And we don't have to tell him what we want unless we want to change it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But you do things that bring you joy, that make you happy. Do things with friends. Go out, live life. But also be conscious, be aware, and be alert of what's going on around you, not only for yourself, but for your loved ones. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, before you came on, I'm Gwendolyn. And good morning, Elise. I my mom this morning right before I got on the show, and I was just like, listen, just be careful. ICE is out in our neighborhood. And, both my parents are elderly. And my mom, drives around here and there and taking my dad to doctor's appointments and stuff like that. And she has to go food shop and live a normal life. But I also want her to be careful. Listen, she got this color skin. They don't care. They don't care how old you are, And
as we saw with that gentleman that was on Don Lemon, he was 68, and they just harassed him,
don't
and
care.
tackled him.
And that's the thing. It's like they don't care if you're a male, if you're female, if you're a teenager or a child.
And at this point, they don't even care if you're white because the lawyer, he's a white man. And he's a lawyer, a prestigious lawyer, known around, in main media and social media. And he was just filming. He was just filming that they, just making sure that it was documented.
Which is
his constitutional right. And because he had his phone out, the guy, he said he stepped back and came at him and tackled him down. I mean, or the preacher. You heard about the other day with the preacher, getting hit. Several preachers at this point now.
Yeah, they've been shot with rubber bullets.
The other one that said that they detained him because he said he was not afraid of them. So he yells at them and says, "I am not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you." And they said, "Well, if you're not afraid," and they lock him up in the
thing about it, you don't even know where you're being locked up. People around you don't know where they're bringing you.
Yeah, but they held on to him, and then they said, "Are you afraid yet?" And he says, "No, I will never be afraid of you. Yeah, I will never. I'm going to hold my ground. I will never be afraid of you." And then they said, "Lucky you're white."
Listen, can I say something else before we move on? There are little glimmers of hope. I don't know if
there are hopes. There's a lot of great hope.
Yeah. Yes. Someone within DHS is leaking the names of ICE agents, full names. They're basically doxing them, and this is coming from within the house. Their names, their addresses, and all this stuff is being put out there on websites. So there's hope. So listen, there will come a time when these guys will have to atone for their actions.
Yes.
And there will be receipts of who participated.
Exactly. Well, let's say good morning to some folks before we dive into this even more. Look who's in the building. The first person in the building is Dr. Omar. He said he got the gold medal today. He said, I want the gold. He is in there. And second in with the silver is our wonderful Chris R. She says, good morning. And then Gwendolyn says, I may be on the panel, but I am still here. I'm getting my bronze. And she's there. And then we have Bryson in the building. He goes, what's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, everybody? Happy Chicago Wednesday. And then we have our wonderful Jazzy. She says, good morning, beautiful people. And Bryson has a statement, obviously. Just saw the post. Rolanda Watts' cab got pulled over by ICE. Rolanda Watts.
And everyone in New York knows her.
Yes. Everyone in the tri-state area.
Well, yeah, but I mean the nation, but especially New York. You know who Rolanda Watts is.
But then she became famous also across the country because of being famous in New York. But Omar says, welcome to the Twilight Zone. It feels like that some days. And Jazzy says, I'm going to say it. This isn't new behavior for our country. It's just new to a certain hue. Love that. Love that. I'm in total agreement with that. And Bryson says, what's up, Gwendolyn? What's up, Jazzy? And I see all the love going back and forth. Good morning, everyone from Elise, when she's in the building and on the panel here today. And Jazzy also says, I have not watched major network news since November 2024. That's part of how I keep my peace. Lisa's in the building. She says, good morning, everyone. And if you're in the building, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the like. If you're first time here, hit the subscribe. Bryson says, ICE is out there running the muck. Yes, indeed. And Jazzy says, or the teenage U.S. citizen kid who was working in Target got kidnapped by ICE and then thrown out the car when they figured out he was a citizen. But he said he was a citizen. He said he had his passport. He said he had his papers. And they still, but that was when I saw part 2 of that story, I wasn't shocked because I've heard it from I read it and heard about it, that when they realized he was a citizen, they literally just dropped him off into the street at a Walmart and just left him. And so the people saw him and he was crying. He was a 17-year-old kid. He's a kid. He will be traumatized until you get some therapy.
Listen, there are over 17,000 people that have canceled their tickets for the World Cup already, and it's growing daily.
Good.
This country needs to pay for its atrocities that is currently going on. And it has to happen economically.
Economically, that's all. It
has to happen economically.
And the question is also for the 17-year-old is, and this is why I keep saying we should still be, I don't know why people are shopping at Target, but there are people still shopping at Target. They were saying, how is it that Target, Home Depot, all these companies are allowing ICE into their private properties to arrest and take people away?
No, kidnap people. Let's use the right terminology. I'm with Elise when she's saying use proper terminology, because they are kidnapping people. What they are doing is illegal.
Harassing,
they don't have warrants to go. They don't have warrants to go into people's homes, into their vehicles, and they're smashing out their windows. They're pulling guns on people out in broad daylight.
This is where we are.
Yeah,
Elise, I hear you have something to say. Did she hear us? Is she there?
She's there.
Oh yeah, I hear you, but my screen keeps freezing.
Oh, that's what it is.
Can you all hear me?
No, you're good though.
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you, and we can see you.
We can see you.
My screen keeps freezing.
Oh, okay. Are you with us? Can you?
What did you say, Chris?
No, I'm saying we can hear and see you.
I can hear you
keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep talking. We can hear and see you.
We hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my screen keeps freezing every now and then. I don't know if it makes me.
Don't.
Oh, you're good.
I went out and came back in.
You're good.
Okay,
we got
yeah.
you.
So you know, you all know I haven't watched news in years. I refuse to watch mainstream news. That's
but you stay informed.
I don't. But mainstream news is not where the real information is now. So
it's not. It's no longer there.
Taking my time to watch it.
Exactly.
So I told my husband, I said, I see other sources for information because mainstream media, like they said about CBS, they don't tell you the truth anymore.
No, CBS stands for See the BS.
Some of it infiltrated by all of these people who will formerly work for Rupert Murdoch. No, they're not going to tell you the truth. We have the Washington Post, but hey, look who owns that, and you know what he did.
Yeah.
Rupert Murdoch, former Rupert Murdoch person who is executive at Washington.
So Gwendolyn, you brought up something. What was it? Sunday? Was it Sunday? You said
you all see me? Everything started spinning then.
Oh, we got you. We got you. Now I'm going to ask Gwendolyn. I know she mentioned something for you sent me something about something you mentioned on Sunday night. Was it Sunday? You chatted by email. What was that?
Well, we can take Omar's comment and go down the rabbit hole of the Twilight Zone and just say, hey, this clearly is not the America we remember from January 19th, 2025. So you have the UFC. They will be hosting a fight on the White House lawn. That's real. You have where we have white liberal mothers who enjoy wine. They are now the newest terrorist gang on the streets. People, protect your bottles. Protect your bottles, because the white liberal wine thugs, this gang, they're coming after you, and they are domestic terrorists. So be careful. And as Lisa mentioned last week, there is a rebranding for the KKK. So they are now the heroes of the United States of America. So yes, that is today's news and upside down. What's the Stranger Things? Like
Stranger Things, yes.
What's the actual? So I like using Copilot. So I said, Copilot, his name is Jerome. I said, Jerome, can you tell me if it's true that there will be a UFC fight on the lawn of the White House? And he was like, yeah, it is true.
And that's to celebrate. That's to celebrate 250 years of our country.
Right.
Yes, the UFC fight.
We are straight garbage. We are literally
trash.
Garbage.
Trash.
This is what happens when you let nothing against trailer park people that live in a trailer park, but you know the phrase of the trailer park behavior. And I sat there and said,
Don't forget the Patriot games. Don't forget the Patriot games.
You know about that one. That's supposed to be coming soon.
Can't forget that. But that's also coming 4th of July time. So that's also coming.
So I guess we're all we're going to contribute tribute.
Leaving.
What?
Yes, they're gonna have the tributes from each state. My family plans on.
Oh my God! Like he's literally turning this country into a reality TV show.
It's beyond reality. But Bryson says UFC is coming on Paramount Plus on January 24th.
No, listen. Look at this. It's a full circle.
I don't watch Paramount.
It is a full circle.
I canceled that.
Paramount is
well, we know Paramount is now it's state now. It's going to be state television,
state run,
or state run media, whatever you want to call it. I see in here. No, we did not get to that, Lisa. Lisa says, did you get to the president giving a citizen of the United States the finger yesterday,
cursing him
and said F you, and F you. And then gave him the finger.
Yo, no other president could have ever done anything like this and gotten away with it. Like, are you crazy?
But his people love him still.
But yet and still, our black presidents wore a tan suit and he was crucified. Because it was below the dignity of the office.
No, this is where we are. But again,
we have a 2-year-old in the Oval Office.
And then guess what happened? Ford, which was the company he was at, fired the dude.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lawsuit right there.
Fired the dude for using his constitutional right.
That's a lawsuit
to speak. That's right. So this is where we are. So what other thing? What else is in the news that's going on that we can just get in and get out with? And I know that was the big thing.
I got some
Come
news.
Come on with it, Gwendolyn.
Bring it.
Texas, baby. Texas.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
Okay,
yes,
whatever.
Yes. We was. I'm gonna say we kicked some ass on Monday night.
Wait. Is my Buffalo Bills in here? Where's the Buffalo Bills?
All of it. We kicked all of it. So there you go.
Philly's out.
I'm rocking my shirt today. I got my shirt on. H is up. Yes, this might be our year. This might be our year.
The Texans, right? The Texans.
Now, I know we got some Cowboy fans in the audience. I know we do.
Omar. Is Omar still a Cowboy fan?
That's Is
Omar still a Cowboy fan?
Y'all might want to go ahead, get on this bandwagon, make some room for you.
Lisa says 49ers. I don't think they're here. Are they still in? I think
they're in it. Sorry, Lisa. It's not your year.
Not yet. No. The 49ers.
Well, look, the Eagles are out, so who cares?
Eagles, the Giants, the Jets. The Jets are out.
Eagles just fell apart at the end. I don't know what.
I don't know what's going on.
Somebody said Cowboy for life.
Oh, are you serious? Lord bless. I'm gonna send some prayers. It's the same stuff every year. It's like
Cowboys
over and over again.
I told you I went through a cowboy phase. I was like, well, when I used to have my cowboy jacket when I was in high school. I had the leather sleeves with the,
Well, you were just always weird. You were a Republican. I
was a Republican and I was a Cowboy fan. So, but yeah, so what games? Are the Buffalo still? I know Buffalo Bills. Are they still in it?
Buffalo is in it. Buffalo.
Because I know they're like one game away from the Super Bowl, right?
So yeah, so there's a few more. There's a few more to go to get.
There's a few more rounds.
But that Texas defense, shit, that is.
And I was telling my roommate here, because this is my last day here in Bronxville. But my chillins, they want me home.
Ron, when you coming home?
Adrian called me. I was going out to dinner last night, and Adrian's like, "Yo, what's going on?" And then Nancy sneaks into the screen and says, "Where are you?"
Sir, did you not get the memo? When the street lights come on, you better be home.
When are you coming home? I said, I'm coming home tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Tell them you're grown.
But I just wanted to give the two lovebirds some free space because it was their anniversary weekend. So I said, yeah. So Adrian, they had their anniversary weekend. I think it's 20.
Happy belated anniversary.
Happy anniversary,
Adrian. Anyway.
So they did their thing. They went to the Poconos and they came back home. And I said, I just wanted to give them some space. You don't want the old man around the house. You just want them to be able to do what they want to do.
Very thoughtful.
There you go. You know how you married folks do.
Almost saying something. This is a family show.
Is this?
You know how you married folks participate in moving around the house.
That's why they talk about
that part.
Anything can break out when you're in the house alone with a married couple. But yeah, so my question was the Buffalo Bills, and I had this conversation with my roommate here, a housemate, and I said to him, he's like, well, He said, the Buffalo Bills, they're not a New York team. I said, dude, they're the only New York team when it comes to football. The Buffalo Bills is New York. It is the New York State team. The Giants are in Jersey. The Jets are in Jersey.
Yeah,
technically.
The Buffalo Bills play, practice, and they are the New York team. So I said, New York is still in this thing. Just saying, for all the New Yorkers in the building.
This is true.
That's true, Ryan.
And so it could be the Buffalo Bills against the Texans. That would be. Could you imagine the Buffalo Bills against the Texans? Oh, Gwendolyn, I'll be calling you just to look at it, the Super Bowl with you just by screen.
Well, I will say this, and I'll let us move on to something else. But the Broncos, right? So the Broncos are seriously like they're a real contender, like real talk. They're a real contender, and I was like, man, I remember when my cousin went to Super Bowl, and that year it was just different. They had every single piece that they needed to do it. And so I don't know, like that's a gate. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like I am mildly concerned, but yeah. So this really could be their year. I'm not gonna sugar. I'm leaving my team, but I'm like, ooh, that one. So yeah.
I'm just happy to see something New York inside. Some things, even the Knicks. The Knicks are doing. This is their best year in a long time. Usually when we go to the Knicks game, we always like, we know it's going to be a bad one, but we still go.
You still support the hometown team.
You have to be a fan, I believe, to it also. Like Texans came on the scene in 2002. I've been an Astros fan my entire life. Like we are just, even in the WNBA, the Comets, which we might get another team because we was wrecking shop back in the day. Yes. So, you just have to, you can't be the fair weather. Yeah, you got to be in it. Clearly, the Cowboys get that because they still rocking with them, and they ain't did nothing in a long time. So.
In a long time.
Leave those Cowboys alone. Sometimes I'll listen to Omar go, "Ooh, they hurt us again." when he's posting on Facebook, he says, "They hurt us again."
The sin of the owner.
An abusive relationship.
So y'all blame it on the sin of the owner.
Yes, you're right. You're right, Mr. Lees. You're right.
I be feeling sorry for my boy Omar. I be feeling so sorry for him when it comes to the Cowboys. So what else is going on in the world? That was for
Jazzy.
What you say?
She's the Commanders fan.
She said she's the Commanders fan.
If I may share one more thing, and I don't know if you guys watched it, but did you guys watch Raphael Sadiq and Miles Canton and I can't say that guy's last name perform that song from Sinners?
No.
Oh
no.
It's online too. You can watch it online.
Oh my god!
Where was it on the Golden Globes? Did he sing it on the Golden Globes?
It was on Tonight Show, wasn't it?
Kimmel.
Oh, it was on Kimmel. Okay, go check it out.
Was it last night?
I think I have to go and download that soundtrack. I really do because it's a great soundtrack.
The soundtrack of Sinners is amazing, and it's just so sad. Oh, you want to talk about Sinners?
No, not talk. This is not Sinners in itself, but just let's talk about the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes was Sunday for those that didn't watch. And Bryson definitely chime in. I know this is world. Yeah, but shout out and praise and congratulations to Teyana Taylor, won Best Supporting Actress. She was actually, that was the first award given out, and I loved her speech. And it was just, I love seeing Black people win and getting their due. I don't think enough got their due at the Golden Globes. I think Sinners, even though it won, I believe, 4 awards, it did not win in the categories I thought it should have won. And they're being like shut out a lot. So let's see what happens. We've got the SAG Awards, I believe, coming up next. And then, of course, we have the Oscars. And I think they're going to be up for a lot of awards for that. And hopefully they'll get their just do for the Oscars. But Teyana Taylor, let me tell you something. People think that Teyana Taylor is like new to the scene. This girl has been grinding since she was a little girl.
I did not realize that she's been doing.
She's a little girl.
Yeah, little girl.
Dancing. She was known for her dancing and then singing. She got signed really young. She was on that show on MTV's reality show Sweet 16. She performed with other artists, got laid tracks on other artists, and then blew up and did her own thing. And she has an album out right now. Came out late last year, I believe it was, or over the summer. Wow. And then she's just got movie after movie after movie coming out, and she's such a great actress. So this is a well-deserved win. We had not seen this movie yet. Ron and I are going to watch this, I think, this weekend. We've been meaning to watch it, and we get pushed off with something else all the time. But we're going to watch this movie because she's in the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, I want to see that
Such a great movie.
I think it's going to be excellent.
She's amazing, and I'm just so happy for her and all of the accolades and the what she's getting right now because she's so well deserving of it.
I love the photo
Black
shoot
girl
for Vanity Fair. This photo shoot that she did, very beautifully done, and
her partying in the back.
Yeah, I like to see that.
That was cute.
I was very impressed, and I didn't realize that she's been doing this since she was a kid. I was like, really?
She worked with Beyonce on choreography.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's been a choreographer for people.
Yep.
And her voice is amazing.
Like, yes.
Her singing voice is amazing.
I always love her look. I think her look is so when you see her face, you just like who she is. It's like she's just stunning.
Cheekbones, jawline, like she like when a photographer wants to photograph someone, that's the type of person you want to photograph. Like her bone structure is just there. Like she has everything going for her.
Yeah, it's like an Eartha Kitt. Like Eartha Kitt was very defined, and when you saw Eartha Kitt, you knew it was no like who's that lady? You knew Eartha Kitt when you saw Eartha Kitt. So she's good. I'm glad that she is. For those that don't know who she is, which is like people that I know her from in the new world, like the recent movies and stuff, but. I didn't know she went all the way back to her childhood. I learned that literally yesterday. And that was really good.
She's had a great career.
Looks a lot like her mother.
Yeah.
Wow.
She looks a lot like her mother.
Lisa says she is a director. She and her childhood friend have a company called The Aunties. Nice. Hey, Laney Lane is in the building. Good morning to you. I see you in the building. I see you. And Bryson had to throw his 10 cents in there. We're got Oscars nominations coming up next Thursday, and the BAFTA nominations announced next week after the NAACP Image Awards nominations were announced on Monday.
Yeah.
So
we are deep in award season right now.
It's award season, and then the shows will be in February. Most of them, right? February and March.
May I add something?
You can add.
May I add and also do a plug?
Oh, add more.
Okay, so I had the great pleasure of watching Ronald's first episode.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to get to that later, but go right ahead.
What? Yes. Okay, so watched it. He had a question there about the awards and how Black creators, storytellers, actors, actresses always have to do so much more to be recognized. And even with that, you're still not recognized.
Yeah.
Like Denzel has had amazing roles, but then he gets something for like Training Day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Halle Berry, Monster Ball. It's
yes.
Like those kinds of things. And so we come here and you have to ask yourself, yes, you recognize that there is a part of you when you get into an industry, you do want that industry accolade. Like you do want that recognition. And at what point do you realize just because you are going to do 50 times more than what someone else does, and even with all of that, it is still not going to be enough. Right.
Not even that. He made mention of the fact that why is that we only get nominated for best supporting roles and not lead?
And that part
when those roles are lead roles.
Right.
Yes.
That's the best. That's one of the great, right? When Denzel won his Oscar, it was supporting.
That's
in
right.
Glory.
In Glory. Now that I tell you,
his character was front and center, right? His character was front and center. So, but and then when you look at Sinners, talk about the awards. There's no way Ryan Coogler shouldn't win that best. Period.
It's an original script.
Right. It's an original script. The cinematography that he used, even the different types of film that he brought it out in. All of those things deserve recognition. But it's like you said, but when you tend to look at it and going back in the history of it all, even if it was produced by a white person, if the cast was heavily Black, it goes through this snubbing.
Look what happened to Steven Spielberg in a couple of movies.
The Color Purple.
Yeah, The Color Purple.
Yeah.
Yep. Color Purple was the best thing that year. In that particular year.
Since we're talking about Sinners, let's look at the overarching thing of this. And Ron did go into this a little bit. Let's look at
Chris,
Michael
could you do me a favor? Could you send me Ronald's link to his YouTube?
Yes, I'll do that in a second. But let's look at Michael B. Jordan. All right. Everyone's like, oh, he was an amazing actor in this movie. He played 2 roles. No, he did not. Michael B. Jordan played 3 roles in this movie. All right. He played both of the brothers, and then one of the brothers transformed. So that was another character. This man played 3 characters in this one movie.
Chris, I didn't even realize that.
Right.
People forget about that. Like, that's another role. That is a whole nother role.
People don't talk about that part. Just how much.
No. And then on top of it, the whole Vanity Fair thing of it. Vanity Fair, when it first came out, put out an article about how it only made this amount of money in the first weekend, but yet and still, it never came back and corrected that. For box office gross, it made over 300 and something millions dollars. That is a box office hit.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the movie is being re-released in movie theaters next week again for the 3rd time since it's been released in less than a year. Hello, what the hell?
So let me add on to that, because we have heard so many times that people don't want to see Black movies, and that if you have a Black movie, people aren't going to show up. Black folks don't spend money on movies. Okay. We are the best storytellers. Yeah. I didn't even know a good chunk of movies came out last year. And the ones that I did see, they're all remakes of something else that we've already done before, because the creativity is no longer in the room. Right. What else do we need to say that when you have a majority of the movies that came out last year being written and directed by, no offense, white men, you remove women, you remove the Black creators, you remove your Asian, Hispanic creators, and then you wonder why there is a problem with the cinema. Those are whack-ass stories. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. We are in a different time. People want to see themselves on the screen. I just watched a whole host, like I said before, of trailers. Everything is zombie apocalypse and so-and-so this. It is the most miserable season of movies. I'm like, there's nothing to watch here. Now, Michael J. White got something coming out, and so, I'm going to watch that. But other than that, it's like, okay, so same old, nothing. At some point, you have to realize that you don't have the real storytelling chops. And I get that they're trying to push particular people to be the next, this, that, and the other. It's like, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And you have to realize that you need the multi-bread that makes this country in the room. You need it. Or you're going to keep doing let's remake Gremlins, or let's remake this. Ain't nobody watching that. Who wants to watch that?
Let's make it gorier.
So let me, this young lady.
I put it in the chat, by the way, Ron.
Yeah, this young lady right here, she brings it home. I'm trying to figure out where she is on her
weekend. They buy merch and they.
I'm trying to get. Unfortunately, about no mind. We'll just go from wherever.
10 friends to go watch your movie. $367 million does not come from casual fans. It comes from people who feel like they have an ownership in the experience. The takeaway here for you is find your Michael B. Jordan, find your Ludwig Göransson. Consistent teams create a signature, and signatures build followings, and followings buy on faith. Every article about Sinners being left off the list generated more conversation than the list itself. Fans tag Variety. I was even in the comments like, where is Sinners? Actors called them out. The snub trended. The takeaway here for you is not every room you're left out of is a loss. Sometimes that snub shows just how much of a room you've built for yourself. The industry can overlook you, but when your audience shows up with $367 million and fights on your behalf, you are no longer needing their validation because you've already won a different game. I study how remarkable things actually get built. Comment differ or sign up for the newsletter if you want more. See you on the next episode. What happens when you make a $367 million movie and critics and media still leave you off their year-end list? Welcome back to Talent Isn't Enough. Ryan Coogler being snubbed is not new. He's been snubbed for over a decade and he just keeps on winning. Fruitvale Station won Sundance, Oscars ignored it. Creed made $173 million. Stallone got the nomination and Coogler got nothing. Black Panther became the first superhero film nominated for Best Picture. Coogler was left out of Best Director. Now, Sinners, $367 million, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, 17 Critics' Choice nominations, and it's left off the Rolling Stone and Variety's year-end list. So let's break down Ryan Coogler's independence and the asset value of building direct-to-consumer. Number one, a part of success is about understanding trade-offs. So let's talk about the access trade-off many do not think about. In 2016, the Academy invited Coogler to join. He said no. He told interviewers he would rather join labor unions than voting bodies. And when you opt out of a system, that system stops advocating for you. Gatekeepers remember who does not play their game. The takeaway here for you is the people who control access and the people who buy are rarely the same. So pick your trade-off. Number two, find your signature style that works and let the consistency compound. Coogler has worked with Michael B. Jordan on every film he's ever made. Same composer, same values, same lane for a decade. That consistency creates a signature that people can follow. And when audiences follow your work across years, they move from being customers to believers. And believers show up on opening weekend, they buy merch, and they tell 10 friends to go watch your movie. $367 million does not come from casual fans. It comes from people who feel like they have an ownership in the experience.
So there you go. Thank you, buddy.
No.
She lays it down so well. Yes.
Ryan Coogler is a box office magnet and hit maker. Everything that he has done has produced, made money, and catapulted the people that are in his movies. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that he turned down being in the system because now he doesn't have to abide by the system and do the things that he wants to do. This man is amazing. He is one of those directors that will forever go down in history as a hit maker. They can never, ever take that away from him. I hope he just continues to do what he does, listen to his inner voice, and pick the projects that he wants to do and write the scripts and tell those stories that he wants to tell. Because, sir, you know what you're doing.
I love the fact that she brought up that the two of them, Michael B. Jordan, and they paired up to make these amazing movies together. But you see that that is a recipe for success. You think about what's all the Tom Clancy movies, or you think of the Tom Cruise always being picked for what's his name, Swayze. I think it's Swayze is his name. But having the same director and the actor paired off, or the what's it? I'm sorry, what's the guy that is it Swayze? Am I getting that right? The director? Anyway,
I don't know.
Okay, but anyway, I see that a lot in the pairing of directors and actors that do several movies together.
So I want to mention something really quickly that she did not include in that. His wife. She's a part of that partnership.
Yeah.
He her as being there with that core group of people. And she also worked with him throughout these films. So we can't leave her out. No, because she's the critical component of what he does. She works. She's not just his wife on the side up for the red carpet. She's a part of the production.
I read that she was a major part. They called them a power couple in Hollywood because she does a lot of work.
But you have to go back and listen to his video to tell she's a partner. She's a partner in his production company. And I think that, we can't, I saw that. I was like, where's his wife? Because with those three gentlemen, the two guys, so is his wife constantly there and constantly working. She's a partner in his business.
Here's something else also to consider. Like, he's a part of that group that are now not doing their movies in Hollywood and doing it in other places. So, like Black Panther was filmed on Tyler Perry's studio lot in Atlanta. A lot of these movies now are moving away from traditional Hollywood backlots. Of course, they're getting incentives to film other places, but they realize that you don't have to be in the Hollywood structure to create these films, because I think that a lot of white Hollywood thinks that you have to be in their town to create blockbusters and to be in the system, and you don't.
Right.
You don't. And these directors, these movies show that is not the case, and that is not the truth.
Ava DuVernay and her
another great one.
Another one out there that's like, okay, so hey, I got to go out here and make this space. So they have to create those spaces.
Shonda Rhimes is another one.
Shonda Rhimes, yes.
She did the same thing.
They have to.
As a matter of fact, Shonda Rhimes walked away from a lucrative ABC Disney deal and signed with Netflix. And look what she did with that.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy.
So again, if you have to pave your own highway, you just do it.
Make your own table.
Yeah, make your own table, build your table, and tell people to come to your table.
Yeah.
Ron, so I put in his private chat his page. If you want to just play a little bit, like play the little intro and the opening sequence if you want.
So this is Chris's husband and his. I was so proud. I was so happy to see Ronald, and it was like, what? I said Ronald stepping out. This is great. So anyway. Let me just go right there.
So as you're pulling it up, let me just give a little backstory on this. So this is something that Ron's been wanting to do for the last 2 years. And I think what really helped to motivate and to push him forward to say, all right, it's time now to do it. We talk, whatever, but here's the thing. I let him do his own thing. We all do our own thing. We all have our own intentions and purposes. But I think him doing the show, the conference call, and doing the recap shows, I don't know, I think gave him that extra confidence boost that he needed to just put himself out there. And I'm biased, but I'm super proud of what he put out and what he's putting out. And if you haven't heard, if you haven't watched, if you haven't listened, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then also, if you like listening to podcasts on your phone or your devices, he is on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and all podcast platforms. So go and subscribe and listen that way as well. But yeah, so this was the opening sequence for his show. Wait, what?
I love it.
I used to get called Mr. Serious by my family, especially like my mom and stuff would say it. And it's only because I felt as though when they would tease me, I wouldn't jump in on it because like I would harbor things just a little bit differently because I felt like they could see something in me that I wasn't ready to accept or didn't even know I had to accept. You know, when you come up in life and you feel a little different, a little out of place, every little joke or jab at you, it stings a little harder. And then also what my family didn't know was I was being bullied at school. I was being called gay before I knew what gay was. I was being called, you know, the little church boy, the little nice guy, and people would take advantage of me being the nice guy. And it didn't really take me too far with people. I had people around me where I would go to school and be like, oh, they're my friend, but they weren't really my friends. Because I remember specifically in my junior high years being picked on by the people I was aligning myself with. I remember one thing in particular. I remember going to school and I had on a pair of my sister's jeans. It was not anything for me to wear my siblings' clothes because, again, I was the youngest. I was the smallest. Hence why also I got the nickname Shorty when I was a kid. But I was the smallest, so I was always wearing my siblings' clothes. I think I put on my sister's jeans, not really knowing they were hers, but I'm pretty sure I just found them somewhere. And I put them on, and I remember they had a little flare. They were like bell bottoms pretty much. And I remember being in science and seeing the group of kids at the table staring and pointing at me, and I remember hearing, does he have on girl jeans or whatever? But then again, here I am in 7th grade, and these are my so-called friends talking about me. So it was a lot to feel as though I was being picked on in school, and then to come home, and even though my family didn't mean any harm as far as like poking fun or trying to have fun with me, they didn't know the things that I was going through in school as well. So I didn't like feeling like I was being picked on. So yeah, I took myself a little too seriously at times. And that's all learning lessons. But again, that was me dealing with something that I didn't know how to label at the time. I guess I can say I knew I was infatuated with other boys, because back then, you don't really know what attraction is either. I knew I was infatuated with other boys. I knew watching Power Rangers and things like that, I was more interested. I was drawn to the male characters in a way that a young boy should not have been drawn to them, if that makes sense. I would imagine them being my quote unquote boyfriend in my head. And that's not, but even then, even still, I would not accept the fact that I was what other people were calling me for the longest. And that's a lot to deal with. And once I finally found the language for what it was, I remember, because I grew up in church. A lot of people know that I grew up in church. I found myself for the longest trying to pray the gay away. And I remember being 14, being like, okay, God, I don't want to take this into being 16. And 16 would come and I would still feel the same way, if not even more so. Being like, okay, God, I don't want to take this into being 21. And then, of course, by 17, I had my first willing experience. That's another story. Yes, I was sexually assaulted. But that is not, I don't want to focus on that, because too many people equate that to the reason for me being who I am. And that is not the case at all. So I don't want to harp on that, because I don't want people to go, wait, what is that? Why he's,
I enjoyed his conversation, and I enjoyed his just came totally out
very
the
transparent,
gate, real and transparent and honest and to the point and sharing. And just, first of all, like I always tell Chris, who could not love Ronald? Ronald is one of the most amazing people, just such a calm personality and so smart. But I was like, wow, I felt like I was invested in the show, because I was like, it was absolutely well done. And if you guys are interested in a new podcast that is, I think, going to make a big difference in a lot of people's lives, especially a lot of young men that are in the gay community. And I just think it's going to be, and he shared about family. He shared about being in church. And everyone's going to get something out of this. So
yeah, and I don't want it to be focused on the fact that it's a quote, because he even said that this is not a gay podcast.
Yes, exactly.
This is just a regular podcast, and he's going to talk about regular subjects and have conversations with people. And there's like, especially in the beginning, this was like his introduction, saying, hey, this is who I am. This is who, Ronald is. If you don't know me, here I am. But then also now there's some really funny parts and segments to it, and you're going to get that. And then he has like a segment where he responds to like Reddit posts, or he'll be responding to people's submissions that they submit to him. So it's a really well-rounded podcast. It's it's the length it's going to be. I think this one was like 38 minutes, and I think it's going to be around that. And just so you know, once you subscribe, it comes out every Saturday at 11 a.m. He's pushing for that. And the other thing too, we talked about this on the recap show that we released on Monday. He did this all on his own. He came to me one day, he was like, all right, I'm going to pull the trigger on this. I said, okay. I said, just tell me what you need me to help with, whatever. But I allowed him, he just did all of it. We went to the Apple store, he bought his first laptop, bought a MacBook Pro, he ordered his podcasting equipment. He figured out how to set it up. He said, all right, this is the type of setup I want in the room. I said, okay. I gave him what he needed. And then I did a little behind the scene video of him, like just with his setup. And then I said, all right, you're good. I walked out of the room and let him do his thing. He recorded it. He edited it. I was just there sitting next to him, showing him how to use the software, how to do this stuff. But from start to finish, this is a labor of love from Ronald Clay. And I loved it. I couldn't be more prouder. And yes, I'm biased, but I'm super excited, super proud.
As you should.
As you should be. But he covers so many things, and I love that Gwendolyn had chimed in because when he was talking about, he told the story about his name being Ronald and the importance of being called Ronald. And
I think that had a note for everybody.
That was such a the way he shaped it, shared it. I mean, the packaging was really good. And then I saw Gwendolyn chime in the comments, and I was like, "Yes, that's Gwendolyn." I said, because Gwendolyn has shared that, she and I have talked about it many times about the respect of a person, and respecting who they are. Right. That first gate to a person is their name.
Yes,
and how they want to be addressed. I think
how they want to be addressed.
Because for some people like me. It was a long time. At one point I was like, I'm going to leave it like that. Because it's not the easiest name when you look at it to know what it is. And it's actually pronounced Alice.
Alice. Okay, Alice. See, correction. Now we know.
So now we'll say Alice.
Alice.
Yeah. Alice. Al and Lise. Alice.
Alice.
See, now we know.
And so, it is funny because I had relatives who's like, I would ask them, so what's my name? They were so used to calling me Lisi, they didn't know what it was. And so, it's just teaching people how to say it. That's how my godmother, like I think that's the wildest thing. My godmother is who I'm named after. And so it's not a modern name, it's an old name. Because she would definitely be in her 90s. And so, but that's how she pronounced it. So that's how my father pronounced it. But it was so easy to let people say, oh, I have a relative named Elise. Okay, that's what you have. I'm Allie. And it's definitely not spelt the same. And people who think to leave that I had some I picked out perfume in Mexico City. And that small bottles, they put your name on it. So the guy had the spelling of my name, but the lady who did it spelled it like Alizé. He said, like, "Oh, there's another E. You need to go back." Because he actually gave her the paper with it on there.
Yes.
And so, but they would put it on there. And I had an encounter with someone the other day when they looked at my, they said, "Oh, your name is Alizé." I said, "No, it's not. There's another E in there, and the Alizé is what you drink." My name is Alice.
But when Ronald was speaking, I can identify because obviously he and I have the same name,
right?
And people when they used to call me when I was a kid, they used to call me Ronald. And when I would be in school, it was also because I came up in the era of McDonald's, and so I kept getting the Ronald McDonald, and all that stuff. And then I just simply said, "Just call me Ron." And but I sat there and said, wow, I looked at when he was sharing, I said, look at the bravery that he said, you know what? Because of people teasing, but then he went and said, wait a minute, this is my name. This is who I am. And he took that control. And I was like, I wish I would have done that when I was his age. When he did the same thing, taking control of who you are. It's part. Your identity is your identity.
Listen, I've seen him in action with that. You know, like we've gone out to like coffee shops and they call out Ron, and he's like, "Who?" He's like, "No, my name is Ronald." He'll correct them right there. I mean, that's who your name is. Who you are. If someone comes to you and say, "This is who I am," just like when you know, Chris is such a common name, and they're like, "Oh, Christopher." I said, "No, I don't go by Christopher. I go by Chris." And they still say Christopher. I said, "Yes, that's my government name, but please just call me Chris." It's how you identify.
Yeah.
And what you want, right? And people have to honor what you want to be called, right? Yes. I know. And D Nice went live with me. It was one of those shows when he was talking about being on the air, and I think I don't know if it was 2022 or 2023, but he said, "I'm gonna go live with this lady because I want to know how she says her name." People, because you know, it started with the S in front of it, first of all, so they thought it was Celise.
Well, that's what, you know, when I first met you, I thought it was that. I was like, Celise. And I was like, oh, wait, no, it's Celise.
Yeah. And so then people wrote it in there, and he thought it was, he of course, looked at the spelling and said, "Oh, Alizé." And the person said, "No, it's not Alizé." So he said, "I just want to know from her how she says it." So that's how he got to know how to say my name, because he pulled me up so I could tell him how to pronounce it. But I think name is important that people honor who you want, how you want to be addressed.
Yes.
Like Gwendolyn wants to be Gwendolyn. My aunt, I have an aunt that's Gwendolyn. You know, of course, to me, she was just TT. I never, no one ever called her Gwen. Most people called her Gwendolyn.
Ooh,
that's what it was.
The first time I met Gwendolyn, I mean, we talked about Gwendolyn, you know, Gwendolyn. I always called her Gwendolyn, but one day I called her Gwen. She's like, that ain't my name.
I was quick to correct people.
And she, I mean, right in place, just in there.
But that's how you have to do it. If you don't, you've given people the opportunity to mispronounce, to misuse your name. And then because you don't say anything, they just assume that that's what it is. So if you don't correct people in that moment, you give them the right to call you whatever.
Yeah. And I did it graciously, but my New Yorker family, as in like my colleagues and stuff, they forget that it's actually a 3-syllable name, not 2. So it was Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn. I was like, there's a whole D-O in the middle there, people. A whole D-O. Gwendolyn. I was like, you know what? Just call me G, because we have issues here. Just use G. And even G was too hard. It's like, it's just a letter. It's one letter. G. So yes.
Yeah, and my thing, like at work, when I was working, especially as a supervisor or in my education arena, right? I had this one woman who was was familiar with my principal at the time, and she used to call him Jim all the time. I said, "Who is Jim?" So, who is Jim? His name is James Albright, but it's Mr. Albright at work. So one day she decided that because she saw my first name, that she would use my first name. I told her my name is Mrs. Stallworth. To you. We are not friends. Yeah. I am your superior. I'm your supervisor.
Yes.
The whole thing is
and she was white. Only the white teachers tried that. The black tried that. They find it hard now. If they meet me socially, they find it difficult to call me anything but Mrs. Stallworth. And people
it's just respect.
Said time she always put Miss in front of it, which is what do me in the art world. They will call me by that. Most of them call me that way, but professionally, and I told them, I said, you teach people how to respect you based on what you allow them to call you.
Yes.
This environment, we're not friends. We're not friends. We're a professional environment, and I don't want a child calling me a name by my name in this educational environment.
Yeah.
And so she did it until I kept telling her, this is what it is. And she understood Mrs. That's Mrs.
Well, anyway, we are now.
Wait, but before Lisa, the link, I put the link for his YouTube channel in the chat.
Yeah, and I also put the name in there as well. So this will be also in the description. So the link will be there, and all the stuff that we have. Anytime we do a post of a show or clips, we always put it in the description. Also to give credit to that particular video footage. Gwendolyn, you have something coming up soon.
I had a lot of something.
You got.
She is all on my YouTube feed.
I was like, what? What? Okay. Yes. Yes.
So let me shout out 2 things. One, we are celebrating my 100th episode for Girl Listen. 100 episodes.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. So it's going to be like yeah, right? So it's going to be a way back. I got my confetti right down here.
Oh, Lord. Is it confetti or is it blue dust?
No, it's confetti. No more blue powder.
We have to make sure and double check with you now.
I know, right? It's like you are. No, this is confetti. But then the next week, I'm so excited. I have Ms. Alice back on the stage. I cannot wait to have this conversation. So yes, and it's next week. I am so excited. You have no idea.
And I'm so excited for Elise being in there with you. And I said this. Oh, but you also have something coming up this Friday, also, correct?
Right.
That's 100th episode.
That's 100th episode. Okay, got it. Let's make sure. I got so many things from you this week. I was like, and then it said, and then it would say, you've already registered.
Yes.
Yeah, like literally go on YouTube and it says Gwendolyn.
I am scheduled up until like February, and I'm working on March right now. So I've got some topics.
She lives in the future.
Yes, she does.
Lord, she needs to throw some of that over here. But
she lives in the future.
By the way, Ronald said to say thank you to all of you guys for mentioning his show. Yeah, he was texting me.
Oh.
I have an invite coming for Ronald's.
Yes, that was really good.
Okay.
I got half on my show as in the convo. So that's what we'll be doing my interviews. Nice. Just also I wanted to share with you guys a couple of just items. And let me just share with you. There is an event going on. I just hold on to see if my messages. Let's see if I can get that out of my messages for you guys. Let me see. I thought I had it. But there is this Saturday I'll get all the information. I'll put it inside here. But there's an exhibition going on in the Bronx celebrating a book that is out called Fathers, and our Michael Young, who we've interviewed here. He's part of that project, and they're going to be having a get together in the Bronx celebrating. It's also a gallery showing from the photos from the book in the Bronx on Sunday at 3:00. But I'll get you all the information and put that inside the description as well. And I will be there to obviously cover it and make sure I'm there with my camera and all the folks that are there and video camera and just share what's going on. Also, we have the exhibition I am in for coming up in February. Opening day is on February 7th, and it will be going through March. So you can check that out. And a bunch of us are in that. Howard Cash, who we've interviewed here, he is the one. He and Jamel Shabazz are sponsoring that. So we got a couple of events going on here in New York. A lot of them in the Bronx. And but we'll be ours is in the lower Manhattan and the other one's in the Bronx. So we got some stuff going on in New York City, and so check them out. Also, I have my little banners that I'm going to share with you guys, and here we go. Let me tell you about the community. The only person that participates in our community is Gwendolyn and myself, but you know what? We still be doing it. YouTube community, our Ron Lewis Photos. We have a community. You can post your photography. You can post text messages, conversation, engagements, talk and share. Use it if you want to build community. This is a good way to do it. You already have a community here. Why not move it towards the community tab? And also, if you want to get emails from us, make sure you go to ronlewisphotos.com and we'll be able to send emails to you, newsletters, and all that good stuff. I am an event photographer, and if you're interested in an event photographer, reach out to me and let me know. And as always, I always will say thank you to our Patreon members who support what we do here. You make this possible. And if you want to become a Patreon member, you can click on that QR code and join the community and supporting what we do here. A lot of what we talk about will end up usually in the Patreon community. And last but not least is also join our YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. If you are here, make sure you like, make sure you share, so that way people know we exist and that we're here in these streets. Okay, I think we got it.
I want to say something before we leave.
Yes.
So I'm trying to get my stuff together. So I will start back with an artist conference live audition on IG next Wednesday.
All right.
Really nice artist that I've come to know and had a lot of deep conversations with. So he and I his name is Ralston Cyrus. So he and I will have a discussion next Wednesday. And I've also reached to one of the owners of Overdue Recognition, because they're different than other galleries. So they don't just highlight, or just have artists rotating through. Yes. They have permanent art displays, and they also do framing and some other things. So I wanted to, and it's Black owned, so I wanted to let the audience find out who they are and all the services they do, and that they're not just a gallery who has, this is the artist coming through, opening, and this is closing. That's not how they operate. And they have, it's a great place to go if you're trying to figure out who you are as a collector. It's an excellent place to go for that. So I will be starting that back up and trying and working on, and will be more consistent, because I can't say try. Try is like that's a different mindset.
Oh, you sound like Gwendolyn. Wow.
Yeah, that is. It's just a different mindset.
You say try.
Yes. And they say, Yoda say you try or you do. You do or you don't.
Do or do not. There is
do or do not.
There is no try.
There is no try. So
and since I'm
gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it.
And since we had that moment, I'll share with the event with you guys, so that way it's in here. That since I was able to find it, and here we go. It's called at the Bronx Documentary Center. It's called Book Talk Framing Fatherhood. It's this Sunday coming up, January 18th at 3 p.m. And so Michael is a part of that. Michael Young, Russell Frederick, who we also interviewed here. So we have Russell that we interviewed here, Michael that we interviewed here. And so their works will be in this show, and they will be there at a panel discussion. And so for a panel discussion on seeing Black men as individuals, fathers, role models, and community members, and the stories and visions behind their work. And that is at 614 Cortlandt Avenue in the Bronx. Again, I will have this link inside of the description. So anyone that wants to, it's in the area, you're in town, come out and visit. It's going to be a beautiful day to celebrate Black fathers, or just pretty much just saying fatherhood.
I got one plug before we get off. Before I forget.
One more plug. One more
plug. Thank you, Bryson, because he mentioned it in the chat. Actually, premiering now is another episode of the recap show. We are tackling the TV series on Peacock, Traitors season 4. So that's premiering right now. We're recapping episodes 1 through 3 that were released last week, and I believe episode 4 will air this Thursday on Peacock. So if you love the recap show and you like us over on the original conference call, go and check out the recap show. We are live right now. Well, recorded, live, premiering on YouTube.
Okay.
So Ryan, I just wanted to say something about the last piece that you shared.
Yes.
Black fatherhood is so important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because you all know my backstory.
Yes.
I tell my family all the time, when people post about their mothers and talk about their mothers, it's hard, it's challenging for me to identify with that. I hope my children identify with that because of the mother I am. However, I think that Black fathers, because there are so many great ones out there, they're in households with their wives, or serving as single fathers, do not get the credit that they're due, and it's already been shown that they interact with their children a lot more people do, other men. And I think it's so important that they get the acknowledgement. I think I always think that we often talk about single mother raising children. We don't hear about men like my father. He was that person in 1959, a single Black father raising six children.
Wow.
In a house where he had what is it, 4 girls. There's 4 girls in the house and 2 boys were in the house at the time. And working 2 jobs. And you never missed a home cooked meal. I didn't eat cereal. So I think I never ate cereal.
I know you mentioned that.
I told you my mother was like, cereal. I was like, girls, get in there and cook those grits. But I just didn't want this moment to pass.
Yes.
Where we don't give them that honor. Like, Ron, you are a father. How often do people understand that? It's not about where your seed landed, but where you plant the seeds in people.
Yes.
And so I always tell you that my father that raised me was the first man that God placed in my life to save me. There you go. So, it's no thing for me, but
No, it's the same thing for me. That's why I'm mentioning, because I'm drawn to seeing Black fathers celebrated. I was at the museum, at the Metropolitan Museum of Art this week, and the same thing. And one of the segments, it was called Fathers. I just think it's amazing, just the relationship between a father and his kids. And when people have that, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. It is time to get out of here. You guys have a great day, and tomorrow we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow. Later.